My name is Gary Warren. I'm a citizen of Aurora, Nebraska. In the spring of 2010, I was part of a small group of citizens who were willing to encourage a private fundraising effort to help raise money and build a new pool in Aurora. We met with some members of the City Council as well as Mayor Marlon Seaman and then newly appointed City Administrator Jane Berry. We proposed to them that we would encourage a private group of citizens to raise money for the pool if the city would contribute the remainder of the sales tax funds to our effort. This would eliminate any need for additional taxes to build the pool. The mayor and city administrator were not receptive to this idea. Shortly thereafter, I noticed that the amount of expenditures being paid out of the sales tax recreation fund for Coles Park was growing rapidly. What had started as a $400,000 or $500,000 project had escalated into a $1.15 million project. The project used about $830,000 of sales tax, $150,000 from a federal grant, and $150,000 from the city's general funds. I asked myself two questions. First, how did the city manage to find that $150,000 in the general fund when during the first sales tax ballot election process it had always said there was no room for recreational spending? Second, why are they not spending some of that sales tax money on the pool project? A few months later, the city proposed and approved a $400,000 expenditure for a few blocks of walking trail and bridge on the north edge of Streeters Park. The funds for this were coming in part from a $200,000 federal grant, but the city was also expending another $200,000 plus from the general fund. Again, I asked myself two questions. First, how did the city manage to find that $200,000 of extra funds in the general budget for recreation? Second, why are they spending so much of this money on parks and trails rather than the community's highest recreational priority, the pool? Then, in about December of 2011, I read in the newspaper that the city approved expending approximately $700,000 in new work equipment and other capital expenditures. It began to dawn on me that the city, over the past several months, had found enough money to spend close to $1 million in one-time capital-type expenditures. I asked myself the question, how did the city manage to find this much money over and above the normal operating expenditures of the city? And then I asked myself, if, during a period of less than a year, the city can find almost $1 million, which can be used for discretionary capital expenditures, then why should the city not be able to find a similar amount of funds to add to the remaining sales tax dollars and build our swimming pool? And if there is this much cash available for discretionary items on a regular basis at the city, why does the city need any more sales tax or property tax dollars to build the pool? Why don't we build the pool with the funds we have? So I decided that I needed to become better informed about city finances. I obtained copies of the last 6 years' audits of the city finances, and I reviewed that information. Here is what I found. On September 30th, 2008, the day before the current sales tax started being collected, the city had a little over $4.6 million in cash and cash equivalents on hand. The general fund identified $640,000 as unreserved or undesignated. In other words, no specified purpose. A short 3 years later, on September 30th, 2011, at the close of the last fiscal year, the city had $7.25 million in cash and cash equivalents on hand. That same general fund account, which was identified as unreserved or undesignated, had grown by more than $1 million to $1.65 million. The city sales tax recreation fund now had $1.25 million in it, and that is part of the $7.25 million. But what really caught my attention was the fact that the city had accumulated another $1.35 million in cash accounts from non-sales tax sources. That means the city was accumulating cash from the citizens at a rate of $450,000 per year for the last 3 years from non-sales tax sources. So at the end of last fiscal year, the city has $6 million in cash and cash equivalents on hand without even counting the sales tax money. The city is estimated to have $1.9 million as of October 1st, 2012 in the current sales tax fund. The Sales Tax Expenditure Review Board has recommended that all that money be used for the pool. So, if you take that $1.9 million and the $1.65 million in unrestricted funds, you have a total of somewhere in the vicinity of $3.5 million. certainly enough to build any nice pool that we have considered. The Broken Bow pool cost $2.64 million. That is very close to the pool that the City of Aurora wants to build. Even if we add a few things to that Broken Bow pool, you are going to have a very nice pool for $3 million. If you are concerned that using some of the cash reserves would leave the city short of cash, don't forget the city has been accumulating $450,000 a year in cash for each of the last 3 years from property tax and other city revenues, without counting any sales tax dollars. By the time the pool is finished in 2014, the city, at the current rate of tax collections, and without any new sales tax collection, will be able to build the pool and still keep their cash reserves within a couple $100,000 of where they are today. The city can build this pool with the cash on hand. The city can build this pool without any new sales tax. The city can build this pool without any increase in property tax. The city can build this pool without any more borrowing. Since some citizens went public with this information about city finances, the city has conceded that they can and will build the pool, even if the new sales tax proposal on the ballot is defeated. But it is too late to get the sales tax issue removed from the ballot, so it is vital that you vote no on May 15th to the sales tax. We need to deliver the message to the city that it should make use of the cash they have on hand to build the pool. But in addition to your voting no on May 15th to the sales tax, there's one more step that needs to be taken. You as a citizen of Aurora need to become engaged in this process. You need to help us communicate to the mayor, the city administrator, your city council person, that you want them to use the city's cash on hand to build the pool, and to not be raising property taxes or borrowing money for the pool. Yes, we can build a pool without any more sales tax. Yes, we can build a pool without any more property tax, without any more borrowing of money. Vote no on May 15th on the Aurora City sales tax. Thanks for listening to this message, and any help you can give to our effort is appreciated.